major markets resumed their gains as all 5 indices climbed higher ahead of the long holiday weekend and the unofficial start to summer. As significant as the gains were in the major markets, there were even more significant returns in the style boxes. Small cap value dominated the style boxes as the S&P Small Cap 600 Value Index generated an impressive 9% return last week. The gains were fueled in part by various news reports of vaccine candidates that have released initial positive testing results. Paradoxically, the healthcare sector fell last week and was the only sector to end with a loss for the week, as the details of these results has led to less than stellar returns. Yet, general sentiment has persisted. The greatest gains at the sector level were seen in industrials, followed by real estate and energy. Despite the recovery from the March lows, the economy continues to struggle with mixed economic reports. Last week's weekly initial jobless claims reflected another 2.44 million initial claims, taking the 9-week pandemic total to 38.636 million. In his testimony before the Senate Banking Committee, Fed Chairman Jerome Powell stated that despite the steps already taken by Congress, more may need to be done in the future. I do think we need to take a step back and ask, over time, is it enough? And we need to be prepared to act further. And I would say we are if the need is there. Meanwhile, geopolitical tensions ramped up last week as recent headlines echoed those of last year. China announced plans to implement new national security laws, bypassing the Hong Kong legislature. This has unsurprisingly led to renewed protests and fears of a loss of freedom for the region. In Congress, the Senate passed the Holding Foreign Companies Accountable Act. This bill requires certain issuers of securities to establish that they are not owned or controlled by a foreign government. Furthermore, it would force companies, specifically Chinese companies, to adhere to U.S. securities law, ultimately causing many Chinese companies to be delisted. Finally, investors will get the second estimate of the first quarter GDP, along with various housing and goods reports in this abbreviated trading week.